Hey everybody, Dallas here from Excel with Dallas here, and I'm very excited to be here with Mary Fischer, my good friend Mary Fischer, who is better known as the Mommyologist in the blogosphere. Quite a growing name as a blogger, and she's actually going to be sharing with you something I think is very powerful and impactful. It's the idea of parents losing their identity, feeling usually very guilty about it, how to get that back, and why is it so important to not only you, but also to your kids and your family. So before we get started, I do want to point out that we're enjoying some mimosas. Cheers. Neither one of us has to drive anywhere, but this is the benefits of working from home and being self-employed. So.
It has its perks.
It does have its perks,
sure.
Exactly. So I appreciate you sitting with me.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. You got a lot of great things going on.
I do.
And the last time that we sat down and had coffee, you know, we were just kind of brainstorming what's been going on in your life and my life, kind of coming up with ideas of how we could better help the people that we serve. And you just mentioned something that was really, really impactful for me, and I'd love for you to share that with the people in regards to losing your identity as a parent. Like, for one thing, why is that such a struggle? And maybe you could share your struggle specifically, if you don't mind.
Sure, yes. Well, before I had my son, I was a meeting planner. I was flying to Vegas and Chicago and just doing all these exciting things and not even thinking about it, getting on a plane at a whim and ordering room service and just having the best time. And I did make the decision to stay at home with my son. It was the right decision after I had him. But about, 6-7 weeks down the road, I found myself sitting on the couch and saying, well, wait a minute, what happened to my life? Where did this go? And realizing this is my life now. That old life is gone. And I found myself starting to miss it. And then I found myself feeling kind of guilty about that and thinking, well, you know what? I have this baby now. He's my #1 priority. I shouldn't miss that old life. I shouldn't miss my identity. But I did. So that's kind of where it all started for me, and realizing that, yes, it was important to be home with my son, but it was also important to have something for myself that was separate from all of that.
Okay. And do you feel like, as far as a mom and a parent, do you feel other people are struggling with this too? Do you hear it? Is this common for parents?
I do. And I feel that a lot of parents in our generation have trouble with it, because before we had kids, we all had careers, and we had it all. And with our parents, they were just expected to graduate high school, get married, and have babies, and they really didn't know what was on the other side. Right. But for our generation, when you come off having this identity, this identity, and then going to your whole world revolving around someone else, it's just a little bit tough to take.
Okay, great point. And so, what have you done in order to get that back, and why is it so important? Honestly, what's wrong with why not just be a mom?
Well, that's fine. You know what? For some people that works. I think that's the main thing. Is I thought that was going to be enough for me. I thought, I'm going to stay at home until he's 18. I'm going to read some magazines and eat some bonbons. I'm going to, watch some soap operas. No problem. But I found now for me, and especially as he's getting out of the baby phase, he's 5, he's getting older, is that I just needed something that was mine. And so about 1.5 years ago, I started this blog, just kind of looking to connect with other moms and thinking, oh, it'll be something funny, my friends and family will read me, it'll help me use my brain a little bit. Sure. So that was the first step, is just saying, okay, I'm going to take this time to do something for myself and just use my adult language and try to converse with other adults. But before I knew it, I found that I really had a passion in that, and it just kept on growing and kind of took off, and now I've made a career out of it, and somehow I'm balancing having a career, being at home with my son, and trying to tell other women, you know what, it's okay. It's okay to want that. It's okay to want your life back.
Right, because you yourself during this process, I'm sure you felt guilty about it at some point, right?
I did, yeah. I have days where I'm on the computer and he's, mommy, play with me, and sometimes it's hard and I feel bad, like I should go sit and play with him, but on the other hand, I know that it's making me happy. I'm a better person because I have this thing that's mine, and I have my career, which in turn makes me a better mom to him.
Right, and I think that's the biggest key. That's something that I really want everyone to understand out there. If you wouldn't mind talking a little bit more about that, because I really do think that it reduces your stress level. You don't grow up, your kid doesn't grow up feeling that resentment. And I think that, children, if speaking from someone who's not a parent, I know that to see my mom accomplishing goals and dreams and being successful would only help to make that more possible for me.
Right.
And so
no, they need the example, and
yeah.
kids need to see their parents happy, regardless. Right. And when I was just being a mom and being at home and really having nothing else to do, I just wasn't happy. And so then it brings up feelings of resentment, or I found myself getting a little short with him, or just not being the best person I can be. And so I think it's important to say, you know what, if you need to find, I like to call it your sexy, whatever your sexy, and your sexy is just your identity. It's whatever makes you feel alive and happy and confident.
So it doesn't have to be a blog or a business?
No, it doesn't even. It could be, taking a couple hours a week just to go to the gym by yourself, work out. It could be, going back to work. It could be taking a class. Just something that's for you that makes you feel the way you were before you had a kid. And once you remember who you are, you become a better you and a better parent to your child, and then you're happier, and they see that.
Sure, absolutely.
And it does, like you said, the feelings of resentment. I don't want my child turning 18, and I say, oh, okay, you're 18, you're out the door, now mommy's gonna go get her career now. And him saying, well, geez, Mom, how come, did you give up all your dreams for me? Why did you do that? Right. And then him having the guilt and feeling bad. So, there's just so many moms that feel so bad about wanting something for themselves, and so I'm just trying to spread the message. Take it. You're better. You're a better person. You're going to be happier. You're going to be confident, and it's just going to make your life better.
Absolutely. And I would agree with that entirely. I also think that you become that role model. Children do what they see. You feel better, and at the same time, I think it makes it better for you and your spouse too, right?
Yeah, it does, because I know I had a lot of feelings of resentment for him because I felt like I gave up everything for him.
He's still out there working.
He's still out there. Like I always tell him, you still have a piece of your life that was the way it was before you had a kid, whereas everything for me changed. And he says, well, I have 30 kids at work. We won't even go there. I don't want to hear it. He eats lunch by himself without Spider-Man being thrown at his head, so whatever. But it's true, it's those feelings of resentment come in there, and so I did notice, I probably wasn't getting on his case quite as much once I started getting my own life back and getting balance. So
that's excellent. Yeah. Well, I think that's a really important message. I hope that everyone understands. Again, you do become a better person, a better parent. Your children learn by example. It's as simple as when I was growing up, both my parents told me not to smoke, but both of them smoked.
Yeah.
So I smoked.
Yeah.
You know what I
Learn
mean?
by example.
And so you learn by example, and that's true for people who are following their dreams and everything else. So, well, I definitely appreciate you sharing this message with us. I know that you've got so much more information.
I do. Yes. Welcome. Yep. On Mommyologist.com, you can find out all about getting your sexy back, getting your identity back.
Yeah. And I love that. Check out Mom Sexy. And as Mary mentioned, it's not just a matter of being sexy in the physical sense, but just what gives you that feeling of being empowered and beautiful and happy. And
yeah, I always say sexy isn't about how you look, it's just an attitude, and it's what comes from within. It makes you feel confident and happy. So whatever that is for you, you need to figure it out and not feel guilty about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So get out there, take a day for yourself, find a hobby, don't feel guilty about going back to work. You will find that balance if it's something that you really desire to do. You can still be a great parent, if not a better one. So thank you very much for that. Now, I know that you have been extremely generous, and you want to share a gift with our guests.
I do, yes.
Yeah.
I know it's hard for a lot of moms to kind of grasp this concept, and you need to start small in taking some time for yourself. So I'm going to give away an $100 Spa Finder gift card. It doesn't matter where you live.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'm joking.
You don't have a kid. You can go get a massage whenever you want. You're not eligible.
Okay. I'm not eligible.
Yeah. But I want you to take this gift card, and it's Spa Finder, so it doesn't matter where you live. You just go to spafinder.com and put in your zip code, and it's going to pull up lists of spas in your area that take the gift card. And just take some time for yourself. Get a babysitter, get your husband to watch the kids, whatever. Go get a manicure, pedicure, and just relax.
Excellent.
And while you're doing it, start thinking about what your sexy is.
Nice. There you go.
And what you need to get back.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. In 5 days from now, we're going to tell you who the winner is. It's very easy. Just leave a comment below here about just whatever we talked about just now, finding your identity.
Tell me what your sexy is.
Telling her what your sexy is. And then share this either on Facebook or Twitter. That's it. You're eligible for the gift certificate. And thank you again.
Thanks, Dallas.